Welcome back to the channel, everybody. As you can see, we have a green patch on the farm. It's dying. It's full of dandelions. They're going to seed. Didn't take care of that. That's what our grass looks like. This should be just lush green and like a foot tall now. Yeah, it's bad. We're not looking good here in Montana for moisture. It's really bad, really bad. But you know what? We'll see what happens. Time will tell. So anyways, what I want to talk about to you today is this thing. What's going on with the Big Bud 700? We got anything figured out for that chain case? Let's talk about it. So there's a lot of variables that could be going on to our situation. I don't want to just be pointing fingers at anybody directly until we know for sure what the culprit is and why we keep losing chains in that chain case. These chains have been used in Series 1 and Series 2 Big Buds for decades, okay? There's a bunch of these tractors out there still running from horsepower ranges from 210 to 250 horsepower, all the way up to, I know a guy in Canada's got one set at 900 horsepower, okay? Ours is at 700, yes. Now, granted, that chain originally probably wasn't designed for that kind of horsepower, but guys are doing it and it's working. All right, so ignore the hawk flying out above and leg arms barreling down the road in the International 9370. We're hauling a little bit of winter wheat at the moment. Anyways, with that said, we're in contact with the original manufacturer, Cross Morse. They want us to send the chain back. They want some of the old chain parts to compare metals and types. They want some measurements. We got to go through. We're going to confirm that we have the correct sprockets in this thing. There's a chance that we have the wrong sprockets. There's a type 139 and a type 115, I believe. There's a chance that we might have the wrong one. Very unlikely, but it's possible. And if it is possible, that could be why the chains are getting destroyed. So we got to confirm, get that out of the way. There could be alignment issues in here. Shouldn't be, but there could be. We need to confirm that there's no alignment issues. Hang on a second here. There's a chance the chain, the sprockets could be offset a little bit. We measured it, but we're gonna measure again to confirm. Are they aligned properly? I don't know how they get out of alignment in this thing. It's solid welded together, but we're just gonna confirm that. There's also a chance that the sprockets are wore. I originally sent pictures to the original manufacturer. They said they look good, so we went with that. We might have these taken out and have these sprockets actually set somewhere by one of the manufacturers, and they're going to confirm, are these sprockets wore or not? Do they need replaced? If they do, we'll have new sprockets made to replace that. So we have a lot of things we got to get figured out before we can just say, hey, this is what happened. This is exactly what killed it. We don't know 100% for sure, and I don't want to just say it's 100% the manufacturer of the chain. Cross Morse did tell us that they are manufactured in the USA. They're just sent to the UK for inspection, and then they come back over here again when whoever buys them in the US. Kind of weird because you think they would just send them from the factory directly to us instead of going across the ocean twice and then getting hit with a tariff in the process. But that's water under the bridge at this point. But we'll get things figured out. The other manufacturer is Ramsey. Ramsey has been known to make great products. They're based in the US as well. They make a very similar chain to the one that Cross Morse makes. It's identical specs as far as it'll work with our sprockets. They claim it's heavier built and will stand more horsepower. They've been in business for over 100 years. So we'll see if we go down that road, but they're the ones too that would like to see our sprockets to confirm that the sprockets match up to the chain that they have. So that way we don't just throw a new chain in this and blow it up again and just keep wasting money. We need to know, is it a problem here or is it a problem with the chain? Or it could be a little bit of both, but we'll get to that. So what we think we're gonna do, we're gonna take this tractor, we're gonna put it in the shop, we're gonna drop the oil, we're gonna take the chain apart, take it out, the one chain that's got a couple broken pins in already. We'll get the parts lined up to send off to get sorted or to get analyzed, have them looked at, figure if the metal is properly hammered, I don't know what you call it when it's made. Anyways, make sure that's all good. And then I think we're gonna take the drive shafts off, pull the sprockets out, check the bearings. We might just put all brand new bearings in this thing while we're at it. We didn't do that the first time because we were in such a rush. We're just gonna do that, rebuild the entire chain case box, possibly have new sprockets made. If the manufacturers say, yes, you should get you new sprockets, we're gonna have new sprockets. We're just gonna do it. There's a chance we might be able to get wider sprockets and get a slightly wider chain, which could add more durability, and our horsepower limit will go way up for what we can use. So, long-winded story short, that's how we're sitting right now. The way crops are this year, it's really bad. There's a little green out there you can see, but it's patchy. It's not looking good, and El Nino, Super El Nino's possibly gonna keep the moisture out of Montana. So I don't even know if we're gonna have much of a harvest at all. So there's a good chance this tractor won't even be needed for harvest, pulling the grain cart, unfortunately. If the combines even make it to the fields this year, we'll know in time. But if that happens, we don't need this tractor for a while. So it's a great time to be tearing into this thing and get this stuff figured out. So that way when winter wheat seeding, possibly this fall, if we get the moisture, or next year spring seeding, this thing will be ready to rip again. and do a good job. So we'll find out. But anyways, let's get her in the building. Let's start tearing things apart. Let's get some measurements of sprockets and everything, and let's just start figuring out what is going on. Because I've got a lot of emails from all you guys. I've got a lot of messages, and I appreciate all of them, and we are going to listen to all that. There is one thing I want to talk about real quick, though, and address. A number of you said, get rid of that chain and put a gearbox in there. I understand, and believe me, that sounds fantastic. There's a couple shops out there that specialize in making gearboxes for like tractor pullers. I've heard they've made up to 12,000 horsepower gearboxes. So it's the horsepower is not a problem. Here's the problem. This chain case is built structurally into the whole center section of this tractor, okay? So to put a gearbox in here to drop the power down, it would mean completely cutting apart all of this, all of it. Split the tractor apart, split the back half off, split the front half off, take the center piece out. You guys saw us do all that when we had it apart. Even further though, because this has got to come off. Someone would have to cut it all up, probably start over from scratch and weld together an entirely new box with all of the appropriate shafts for, you'd have to do either 3 gears or 5 gears to get the rotation properly. They'd have to figure out the drop, have all those gears custom machined, figure out an oiling system to oil all the bearings, because they're not like a chain where it's gonna throw oil everywhere. They gotta get oil. So we'd have to have some type of pressurized oiling system to oil that, and we don't know 100% will it work. At the end of the day, I'm just throwing a number out there, but I can only imagine that would cost us 100 grand. Probably. Maybe not. $50,000 to $100,000 to get a custom draw box made for this thing with months and months and months of time out and getting it done. If you did it, you could be done and set. But 100 grand, that number's out there. If someone says it's not gonna be 100 grand and you do build these things, please let me know, because I would like to know, but that sounds more realistic to me. Or we get this figured out what's going on with this chain and we drop a $5,000 chain in it and we run it for hopefully 5,000 to 7,000 hours, like it should run, right? That's kind of how we're leaning. So I think we're gonna do that route first, but I'm not throwing the drop box idea out. I get it with the gears. That makes a lot of sense. It's just, it's going to be like 100 grand. I'm pretty sure. So that's not easy to swallow. No. All right, let's get to work. Leg Arms is putting the truck in by himself like a boss. Looks like he just got it. He didn't even need me. Nice. Yeah, he did a good job. All right, good. You guys want to see Leg Arms doing Leg Arms things? Check this out. Okay, go ahead. Is that battery disconnect or the power cut off? Oh, the battery jump back. That's 65 amps. It's probably not enough. That's 65. No, it's just not enough. We got her opened up, drained the oil out of it. There's a little bit of slop. I think we kind of knew there was slop before, but if he rocks that front shaft, that top sprocket's got a little bit of slop on either the, I don't know if it's a keyway or a spline shaft or however they do it. We're gonna find out soon. Because we decided we are gonna yank it all out. We're gonna take all the sprockets out, the bearings out, we're getting new bearings, new seals again, and possibly new sprockets if we get them sent off, and they're gonna inspect them and see what they think. And if they look good, we'll get them back and put them back in. If they say, yeah, that's definitely not good, we need to get that changed, we'll get new sprockets made too. It can be done. So it could be expensive, but one way or another, we're gonna bulletproof this thing, what we can do. So let's get tearing into it. Ready? Yep. Oh, yeah, probably the top. Okay. Don't hurt it. We definitely got some pins that are busted. I just stuck my hand in here. There's some really interesting new wear marks on this bottom sprocket that were not there. It's like a sharp edge. Why is it wearing into it like that? Here, you feel it. That was not like that before. Feel that ridge? That was not there. Even the other chain, I don't remember that being like that. What? Wow. Yeah, it's hard to explain, but there's a really sharp edge right there where the face of this tooth is just, it's wore down a little bit. A lot of little pitting and marks across it, and that was not there when we first did this. These chains are eating into that, which maybe they are the wrong chains for the sprockets. I don't know. Maybe we have the different sprockets there. We're gonna find out soon enough, but that is weird. The sprocket's out. Oops.
If I had to guess, this one actually I should just leave this on because it'll probably pull the whole shaft with it out.
Probably. So there's some slop, definitely. He was spinning it. Oh, yeah, go ahead. We were spinning the shaft, and the bearings up there are actually making some sound. Now, granted, some junk might have gotten in them.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, there's definitely a bad bearing. So the fact that there's a bearing up there, that's bad. And then two, this top sprocket has about a 1/16 maybe of play left and right. There's supposed to be right there, a screw you tighten in to lock it to the shaft, and maybe it got loose. It's still in there. I tighten them pretty tight. We'll double check that. I checked the alignment, and with that play, if you push over one way, then yes, the bottom and top sprocket are just barely out of alignment. But when you push it to the side, it goes well, then it aligns with that bottom sprocket like it should. So anyways, I guess we're just gonna pull it out. First time we've done this. Probably should have done this the very first time when we were working on this bud. But now this is our first time.
That came up fast.
That baby's heavy. Oh yeah. I bet that thing weighs 100 pounds. Okay. You guys are wondering, we just pulled that yoke off the backside there. That's all that ruckus is about. So this is gonna not be easy. It's heavy. It's really heavy. I'm gonna take this.
Put a pipe on the other side.
This one's heavy too. Remember this? Oh yeah. Oh yeah, there goes the bicep. That's the tensioner. So that uses those all threads to push against the chain, keeps tension on it. You gotta support it somehow. It's just gonna fall down. All right, like that, yeah.
I don't know if you and if we put a bar through here and we lift up on it and try to pull it out.
We could get it, but then the back's gonna fall in. And if we get the sprocket right on top here though.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, we might be able to do that.
Okay,
that's not bad. This doesn't matter, does it? I was just gonna, that way it's not banging into the paint on the bud. What do you think it weighs?
Oh,
it's over 100.
9,000?
It's at least 120, 130 pounds probably.
9,000.
Hey Vegeta, what's the scouter say about his power level? Well, that's the all chewed up. Okay, so the race got to come out of there, so we got to take this cover off that holds the race in it. I got this top one off too, and these hands are
feels fine.
An absolute disaster. Yeah, the bottom one's fine. That top is the one that's making the weird sounds. I just started to loosen them up. I didn't keep going. Here's this. You might have to do your side.
Here, I got this one.
Okay.
You can't go too far because it'll bottom up the threads. We're done with the threads.
Oh, what's that?
They don't have threads all the way. See?
Oh, yeah.
So far, and it's already loosened.
Okay.
Now, if you can go in there and try to lift it up.
Okay.
Over.
Now, ready?
Yep.
There he goes. Okay, it's on.
Okay.
Got it? Who says we need more weight in these tractors? Let's take a peek inside. Oh, that'd have been a lot nicer to clean out in here when we first did this.
That race is fine. That feels good.
I don't know where that sound was coming from. All right, well, we can take those off.
How come we didn't see that on the first chain?
I don't remember being like that.
That wasn't like that.
No, I mean, it looked like this side.
Yeah, you could feel...
See the pattern on this side? And then this side.
Here, let me go get some soapstone and I'll show you. You can see it.
So we're just really trying, I mean, it's like, was there an issue on our end? Was this not installed properly and that's what caused the chain to do this? Or was the chain not right? I mean, we're gonna know soon if these are the wrong sprockets. That bearing definitely had some weird sounds to it, but it doesn't look, it's not thrashed. This bearing isn't, I mean, it's not, these bearings aren't toast. They're gonna get replaced. We're putting new bearings in it, but I mean, I can see the reflection. You can just see the pattern. You can run your finger across these and it's like it's been machined. So that was not like that. We did not have those markings on there quite like that. What it used to look like, let me flip it over to the other side. That's what it used to look like, or did look like when we first were doing this project. That's why we thought, oh, it's not that bad. Zoom out a little bit here. There we go. When you flip it over, you get that pattern. Man, look at those. And this one is different. See the, oh yeah. What's got us baffled is the first chain that failed at like 70, 60 hours, I don't know, it was somewhere in that area. When we were in there inspecting all this to figure out why it failed, I was talking to him about this bottom sprocket, and I was saying you can see where, you can kind of feel where the chain's been riding and it's smooth down there, and we were talking about how machine is. Those markings were not there until the second chain went in.
It doesn't make any sense why we didn't see any of that. I mean, it was polished, but there was no grooves. Like, you couldn't take your fingernail and really scratch anything. Why did the second chain, after 16 hours, tear these sprockets up like that?
Yeah, that's, and he was a lot lighter on the tractor operating it.
Oh man, I was babying that thing.
We went
to get through the seating. We went to a single chute.
So we could raise the depth up.
And we also took off a lot of weight of the cart. We didn't fill it up very full.
It was on flat ground.
And I wasn't pushing this thing, wasn't trying to stress it, and still, it doesn't make sense.
Well, so here's the step we're gonna do. We're gonna get a lot of measurements of these things, a lot of pictures. I'm gonna talk to a couple different manufacturers, and we're probably gonna send these off to one of them, and they're gonna do their due diligence, really inspecting them. I'm sure they're gonna look at it and be like, yeah, they're shot, because you can't fix that. And so then we're gonna have to probably have new sprockets made. So when that happens, we'll have to decide, do we want to keep them the same size, same diameters for speeds? It was about right with ratios, so we probably will just keep it that. And then two, we keep wondering, is it possible we can get a wider chain in here? If they could machine a slightly wider sprocket and get an extra link or two, or whatever you want to call it, on the sides of that chain to go from a 6-inch chain to, say, a 7-inch chain. We got a 9-inch box, and there's a possibility we could get a little bit wider chain. If not, that's whatever. It should be fine, but a little wider chain would bump the horsepower rating up quite a bit. So, all right, well, we'll continue to disassemble these down to, oh, it is a keyway. Look at that.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh, I didn't even hear you. I wasn't listening to you. I don't listen to you.
That's cool. You guys weren't hearing
it. Did you guys hear him say that? I didn't hear him say that.
That's okay.
I wouldn't listen to him unless he's lifting heavy things. Look at the corrosion from when it's sitting all those years. I think that's what it is, isn't it? The oil. That's the oil level of the. I'm assuming that's what it is. Mm-hmm. Okay, bearings, seals. Yeah, go ahead.
Before we pull it apart, we should talk to the company and see if they want these to stay together, and then they can pull it apart and inspect to see how things are.
I mean, that's fine.
Because it might be better. They might want it shipped like this.
It doesn't matter to us any. They need the shaft.
That's exactly right.
They're probably going to need it. Well, I don't know if they're going to need to make a new shaft. We'll see. We'll see. It's possible they could just key it bigger and then.
Or put another key on the other side and put 2 keyways or maybe 3 keyways on the sprockets.
So I'm curious how this must have gotten loose because this sprocket can slide a little bit back and forth. Oh, maybe we'll check it. I think, yeah, I can. I can see it. I can see it move. It's sliding back and forth just a little bit on that key. So something's wrong there. That should not be doing that.
That's going to cause
that loosened up. Anyways, this could be it for now. We'll get back to you when we get more information. But we're going to get our stuff all packaged up and sent off, and we're going to find out what the next step is. And I know a gearbox would be amazing. I don't know if we want to stomach $100,000 to have one built. I'm just throwing that out there. I don't know what the real price would be. But it would be a lot because that entire section would have to be cut apart and rebuilt. Couldn't help myself, but out of curiosity, I wanted to see what the keyway looked like on this top sprocket. So I just took the yoke off. That takes some weight off. That's got the race in it, and it feels good. Oh, the bearing, that's right. I got to pull that bearing off. But I noticed that set screw it was loose, and I had that thing Loctited and tight. So the key in there, it I think it slid. And when you tighten it up, it slides the sprocket slightly sideways and might even make it slightly off alignment, if that makes sense. Like when I push down on it, it twists the sprocket up a little bit because it's wore that much. So that kind of makes us wonder now, all right, yes, there's some weird things with the chain, but that top sprocket, that's not good for a inverted chain to be running with slop like that, and possibly the sprocket to be able to tip just a little bit. Yeah, that's gonna cause wear on the chain and uneven pressure points, and that probably would cause the chain to fail early. So yeah, there's definitely some things going on here. So I think we're gonna need to rebuild all of it. Just need to start fresh. So still not out of the water yet for the chain. That still could be chain problems, but definitely have problems here. And this needs addressed, and we'll know soon if that is the culprit. Yeah, I messed that up trying to pull that off, but like I said, we're getting new bearings. I did look this bearing up though, and the one side I looked at, this thing was $1,500, and we got 4 of them. I'm gonna keep looking. Maybe I can find better than that. Hopefully it's not knockoffs. That's a spacer. And then here is, there's the shaft, there's the keyway. Okay, just washed it off. She beauty, isn't she? Looking at the sprocket, there's some weird pitting inside here. I don't know what that is from. It's weird. It's like it's almost like they put little groove or markings. I don't know if you guys can see that. It's like they took a punch and a hammer and just punched the snot of this to make groove marks in there that maybe would catch the sprocket or the shaft, I'm guessing, to try to slide on. I don't know. There's your key. I'm just amazed. 700 horsepower and 2,100 foot-pounds of torque. And that there is what takes all the abuse. And if you look, this is what gets me a little concerned here. Look at that. Look how that set screw, that locking screw, which is right here, look where that was resting. So when you tighten it down, it was just pushing on the corner of this key, which would then shove the sprocket over slightly. It's just, that shouldn't be right. Now, there's a little bit of play in this shaft. It's not much. I just don't know if that's enough to really cause the sprocket to turn a lot, but I don't like that. That is just not good. So we're gonna, again, I don't repeat myself, talk to the companies and see, but it's possible either they can reuse this shaft and they can machine splines in it that you could slide a new sprocket over and be a spline shaft instead of a keyed shaft. Possibly put 2 keys in it, mill another piece in there, do 2 keys. They'd have to machine in the new sprocket another groove, and they could have 2 set screws. I'm just trying to think of ways to make this a little bit beefier than it is. So we'll get back to it soon. Stay in touch.